Welcome to Mo's Market Pulse. I'm your host, Sarah Mokram, founder of Mo Digital Solutions, where we help businesses hit their revenue goals and thrive. On this podcast, we talk with industry leaders to gain real insights. And today we're joined by a founder who pivoted from a venture backed agriculture startup into one of the emerging players in AI visibility optimization, building a company that helps brands rank inside AI platforms. Louis Debusschere, co-founder of Wispra. Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
So I'd love to just start at the beginning. There's a lot of conversation right now around AI search and just different generative engines, but many people still don't fully understand how it impacts their business. So to ground us, what does Wispra actually do and who is it built for?
Yeah, sure. So, on the grand scheme of things, we help brand and businesses appear on LLMs. So, any people searching in AI for either a service or a product, we try to help those brands ranking and address the right person and be there for the right search intents that their business cover.
And so is it a specific AI platform that you help them rank in, or is it you can kind of help across any AI platform?
So we basically cover all LLMs today. Yeah, we help them. We started with ChatGPT as the main one because ChatGPT covers today most of the market. I think it's 70% market share at the moment, but the other are coming back. Gemini and Claude are on the podium. So yeah, we cover all AIs.
Okay. And so diving into this origin story here, I find it especially interesting because this wasn't your first venture. A pivot after raising capital, is never a small decision. So zooming out for a moment, what led you and your co-founder to step away from the agriculture model and start fresh?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting story on our side. So I met my co-founder James 3 years ago through Enter, who is a VC that has a program where you can meet your co-founder. So basically, that was the goal of the 3 months program, where I just came in as a sales profile in order to meet my co-founder. James was more on the tech side, and back then in the program we found out that we wanted to do something that was meaningful, that has an impact, and we started digging into agriculture and how we could help farmers make more money, gain more margin, and help also people eat more local. So basically, we just started to dig in on into what we could do, and we noticed that there were quite some issues with logistics and the farmers. That's why farmers couldn't go direct as much as they could, and that's why the wholesalers and all those maybe third-party vendors were taking margin away from farmers. So basically, we started to pitch the project at the end of the program. At the end of the 3 months program, we pitched the project to the fund. They liked it. We already had a small traction at the moment with some farmers willing to do it with us, willing to co-build Harvey, it was called, Harvey with us. So they gave us initial investments in order to first build up the platform and try and develop that. And basically, we directly find the right partner on the farming side that was helping us setting up the whole logistical vision and the whole product. So what Harvey was, it was a platform that was helping farmers sell direct to B2B. So we would help the farmers do the logistics that they couldn't do because farmers, the struggle for them was that they couldn't deliver sometimes the clients if they would go direct because either it was too far away, either the order was not big enough. So our idea was to mutualize orders from farmers. So we would kind of create groups of farmers at the local level and shops or restaurants, they could order from these groups and these groups only to maximize the logistics. So when an order was going through, it was only one truck, kind of very full of products instead of just single farmer going by themselves for just small deliveries that were not making sense for them economically. So we built groups like this. We built a couple, and at some point we realized that it was not taking off as we wanted to. We tried different go-to-market. I'm just giving you the short story, but we tried different go-to-market for 2 years and a half. On this topic, we raised a pre-seed round with family office and business angel for more than 1 million euros. So really, I think the vision was there, but in the end, we hit some huge barriers. Some of them could be that it was uh, rather still wholesalers and large retail chain have the power of the volume, so they could buy large volumes from the farmer and really reduce the price. When us, it was still kind of mid-low volumes, so it was hard to be competitive. Um, and also what we realized was that people were not really willing to pay the extra little fees to buy local or to buy it direct from farmers. If they wanted to, they would go to really specialized shop that already offer that. But our clients were very well-known retail brand here in Europe and France. I think the target was not also the right ones. Basically, after trying a lot of things, the co-founder and I were like, "Hey, look, it's been 2 years and a half. We still have energy. We still have cash in the bank. So maybe we try and do something else." And we basically started from blank page. Really, we put everything on the side. We were like, "Okay, what can we do outside of agriculture and logistics?" And basically we looked at what we like. We look at where the world was going. We try to anticipate some problems, see if there are actual problems or pain that we could solve. So my background is in digital marketing. I started my career at L'Oréal in the US actually, and then after that in France, I worked for them for 3 years. I was focusing on SEO for most of the time, so I had kind of deep knowledge about search, about digital marketing at the grand scheme of things. I was working for the CMO's office, and we would audit all the brands on SEO. Would help them get on top of the ranking on Google. So that was what I had in my background. And my co-founder also worked a bit on SEO when he was younger. He was a freelance. He was looking at lots of websites, getting on top on Google. And we also looked at, I mean, cool story about I think how we decided to pivot to Wispra was that I was going on a trail, running a trail in Switzerland, and I was looking for a trail backpack. And I searched on the AI. I was like, "Hey, I'm doing this trail. Uh, here is how I run. Here is what time I think I want to do. Here is how long is the trail." And basically, the ChatGPT at the time kept pushing me just one brand of backpack. I was like, there is 100 brand of backpack out there. Why is it pushing me just this brand? And so the next day I came into the office and I was like, look, this just happened to me. Maybe we can do something about it. And we just started digging from that, and then we started to pitch some really early clients, really early prospects, just some basic early problem solving things where we just tried to see if there were a market, if people were interested, if people were willing to pay even just a little, and we had nothing. So yeah, it started like this.
I love that. I love that story, just, that determination and to continue to go, even with all those roadblocks that came in the way. And I love how you even came up with the idea out on a trail and
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can explain that. So let's shift into growth because the traction so far, like you mentioned a minute ago here, has been strong for a company really that's only been months, right, into launch. And so early companies, early stage companies often test multiple acquisition paths. And I know even with your first company, you guys tried different go to market strategies. So before, something actually sticks. So in practice, and with this company, Wispra, what has proven to be the most reliable way so far to bring in your customers?
So yeah, so as you mentioned in the previous company, we really had a hard time finding the go-to-market. We really made a little money. So the goal for Wispra was to make money very early on and to make sure we had something scalable and that we have something that could grow. I don't know, I remember with Harvey, one go-to-market we tried, I was myself in the shops trying to push some products from the farmer to the client that were coming into the shop. I was doing tasting. We were doing everything we could to try and sell. And so yeah, so the goal for Wispra was to have some traction very early on and to make sure people have this pain and they were willing to pay to solve this pain. So we did what I think anybody could do when starting a venture is calling people and not just asking your friends or your first circle, but really cold calling people, putting up an ICP, try different ICP and just calling them. So we tried calling a lot of different people. I think we started with like locksmith, plumber, all those guys that we think could appear or that would make sense for them to appear and get traffic from the AI. And I think, yeah, we had some very successful call coding sessions, some successful onboarding just after that. And yeah, we that was the first milestone, I think, to tell ourselves, okay, we have something. What can we build? What can we do to be innovative, not to replicate what other people are already doing? Because I think maybe 3 weeks or 1 month after we launched, Geo kind of started to hype a bit on LinkedIn and on social, and we really wanted to do something different from the others. So we kind of built the product vision right after we got the first clients in.
Great. So sounds like the first clients were just picking up the phone, right?
Yeah.
So how has that changed, or are you still cold calling right now?
Yeah, I think you always want to do a bit of cold calling. We don't do as much. I was doing days of cold calling, so very tiring. It was me and just one freelance in sales actually. So things has changed because now we try to build more robust pipeline on our websites where people can sign up directly from the website. We try to maximize the conversion funnel so people can actually convert and be self-serve and onboard themselves. But you always want to do cold calling. You always want to do cold emailing. We still do a lot of cold outreach. Today, most of our clients come from outbound. Sometimes people are surprised with how far we've gone such a short period of time just doing outbounds. I think we still haven't cracked the inbound yet. We've gotten much better. We got great inbound, very well qualified that we can call back and and close basically. But yeah, we try really different techniques, and I think today with AI, it's quite easy. I mean, we have quite the tools to make sure we target the right people, to make sure the cold email or cold LinkedIn outreach we send are well targeted, and that people feel that almost that it's not like an automated message. So I think that's also part of it. Most of our great clients today, even huge companies, came from cold outreach. So I think that still work very good for us. But when you want to scale, I think inbound is the key, at least for us. Our ICP is quite large. We address basically the world. We focused on SMB at the beginning because for us it was what was making more sense in order of, in terms of speed, that they could close super quickly. The decision maker is right on the phone. When you call them, sometimes it's the decision maker. I had some great story where I call someone, we jump on a Zoom and they close within the same 15 minutes. It's still great to start with SMBs, but now we have all kinds of type of businesses in any industries basically. So really the market is quite large, it's quite changing from what we were used to in agriculture. Obviously, it's lovely. It's great.
Yeah, you went from a very specific vertical to now the world is your client there.
Yeah, and that was the goal also for us to have something very different. To yet we needed this kind of switch even in our mind and the energy. We needed to get something that was refreshing, I'd say.
So there is an interesting shift happening from traditional SEO, and I'm curious to hear your perspective, especially with your background with traditional SEO to now, GEO. So from a buyer's perspective, how urgent does this problem feel? And are companies proactively seeking these solutions, or does it still require some education, do you feel?
So I think SEO is not dead. Far from that. Google is not dead. I think it's still here for a long, long time. And I think the urgency is there because if you look at the numbers, I think LLM usage progressed plus 400% since last year. I'm curious to see what is going to be like next year, but I think the numbers are to the roof. So I think for any company that should be a subject to at least look at what they could do. SEO today helps tremendously. A good SEO helps tremendously. A good GEO or a good LLM ranking. We work a lot with SEO teams. Uh, in larger accounts, sometimes we have conversation at some point with the SEO team to make sure that we are not going to either duplicate what they are already doing and we bring an external value that they don't have, or that they don't even sometimes have time or the resources to put in place. So I think both are very complementary.
And so I want to think a little bit about the expansion, because I know currently, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of your clients are where you're located.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, since many listeners are actually US based, I want to explore that expansion. Looking at the American market, what's the early strategy for entering and competing here?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we started with France because it was our native market. It's a great market to start with, but we just started the international expansion. We actually switched to a .com domain last week. We translated everything last week. And even before that, we still had that founder mindset where we wouldn't translate anything before we had an international client. So I think we signed a couple of clients in the last few days, few weeks, that are international. We have one in the UK, one in Australia, some in the US actually. So that started in the US, and yeah, I think to target the US, for me it's a dream market. First of all, because I love the US. I've lived in New York for 3 years, so I've kind of known how it works there, and I think I love working with those people. First of all, and for us, I think it's also a great business opportunity. I didn't see any company in geo doing what we do with the directory. I don't know if we are going to cover that at some point about what exactly we are doing with the directory, but I think we have an edge there that could benefit the US market tremendously. Maybe the challenge for us would be to enter the market, right? Because we are not based there, so everything is done from here in Paris. Though I'm confident that you don't need an office in the US to address the market. But I think it's going to be kind of the same process as we've been doing with friends. I'm not sure I'm going to be cold calling them straight away, but I think the cold outreach so far have been working great. I think if you address them with their pain, if you put yourself into them shoes, you can definitely have some response, have some meaning, and then you have to show your value and deliver. So I think from my side and from how it started, I think it's kind of the same process with the other. So yeah.
Okay. And so fast growth definitely brings opportunity, but it also can bring constraints. So, one recurring tension for founders often is the balance between speed and discipline, especially financially. And so, when deciding whether to spend aggressively on growth versus preserving runway, how do you approach that trade off?
It's a good question. I think we are very wise financially. We know all our numbers. We have a plan. We know what revenue we want to hit to unlock this budget for that thing, and we are very careful with that. So if we don't hit the target, we know that this budget won't be unlocked. So I think that's a wise way to approach it, definitely. And yeah, in terms of budget, I think we try to today with AI, you can do so much with so little. I think we've seen companies grow like crazy and hitting record high numbers with team of 15, 20 people max. When I don't know, a couple of years ago, you had, I don't know, 500 employees to do that. So I think we keep that in mind all the time. We really want to maximize the automation, maximize the process. So it makes our life easy. It makes the business grow as well. And in terms of strategic decision, what we like to do sometimes is just to, for example, so in the next few weeks, we're going to hire to have someone consulting for us on sales. So someone that has like plus 20, 25 years of experience in scale up startup sales, coming in, looking at what we did with kind of like the 0 to 1 we just did, and kind of help us process everything, or kind of help us also with the recruitment plan. I don't know, with the messaging, with the positioning, with anything. So we are on a good path to achieve our goal. That's the kind of budget we unlock to maximize the growth. But other than that, we want to automate a lot while still remaining as human as possible in our interaction.
And so, thinking candidly here, what feels like the biggest unknown in this space and what keeps you watching closely?
Yeah, so I think there is a couple. First, we want to we are waiting for the new update from the AI model. So each model updates or launch a new model. When they do that, you don't know what they are going to what is going to be for us, what's gonna matter in terms of ranking, what they're gonna look at to mention brands or businesses. So I think we are monitoring very closely that, but I think for our client, it's great to have us in this position because we are doing the work for them. We will be looking at where they need to be, what they need to do, and we will tell them what they need to do to rank, even if the model updates. So I think that's one thing. I think the other unknown is in the end either if you I think on our side it is our how to make our products defensible, meaning how we make sure nobody can replicate it, how we make sure we keep a competitive advantage at all time, and how we make sure we can scale this to anyone. So I think it's the unknown on the Wispra side, but also the unknown on the business side is more when the models updates, you want to make sure it's not messing up everything you've built.
Great. Well, Louis, this was packed with great insights, and thank you so much for sharing with us today. And for those who want to keep up with you and learn more about your work, where's the best place to connect or follow along?
Yeah, you can follow me on LinkedIn with Debusschere, or you can always connect on the websites. We'll be happy to show you the platform, give you a free trial, and hopefully have you on board.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to Mo's Market Pulse. And thank you again, Louis, for joining us today.
Thanks, Sarah.